Training for me is something I love to think about how to program, what's the best program, different styles of periodization, different accessory movements, thinking about weak points, thinking about individual leverages and attributes for athleticism, everything complicated and complex, how they all work together, how to lay them out over periods of time. However, thinking about these complex things, is it necessary for you to practice them in your own training? Or are you wasting time? This is one of my big pitfalls. Why am I not stronger? Probably because I've played around a lot in my training, thinking about complicated systems and changing up things when I didn't need to. Here's what I'll invite you to do. This is what I'm currently doing more or less. When's the last time you ran linear progression with a fixed, more or less, set and rep scheme for as long as you could? Think about that. If you haven't done it in a while and you haven't made much progress in a while, do that. Do 5 sets of 5 with linear progression. And you may very well be surprised how far you can push it. In the past, I won't say I've had success with this on my deadlift too much, but for my weaker lifts, my squat and my bench, in the past, when I've done something like 3 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 5, I can add 5 pounds a week for way longer than I would anticipate. And I've hit some of my all-time best volume PRs, 3 sets of 8 at 335 on the squat. And, these days I'm doing that for doubles and triples and sets of 4 and stuff. Nowhere even close. So doing the most simple possible program, 3 sets of 8, adding 5 pounds a week, I got great results. Same thing with my bench. My probably best body weight ratio bench ever. I did 5 sets of 5 one day, and I did something like a top set on a different day, so 2 days a week. And I started at 185, which is where I'm starting right now, where I did start with my 5 sets of 5 this time, which I'll be doing tomorrow, by the way. And I added 5 pounds a week, if I'm not mistaken, all the way up to something like 245 pounds for 5 sets of 5. And I'm nowhere close to that at this point. So what I'm getting at here is maybe you should stop thinking about training too much. Maybe you should pick something a bit silly, something that you would possibly prescribe to a beginner, because maybe you're closer to a beginner than an advanced trainee, regardless of how much knowledge you have or how much you've thought about things or what the optimal training protocol is. You might be overestimating what exactly it is you need to be doing. I know I have. And that's why, more or less, I am doing linear progression. We'll see how it goes. Peace out.